We've been with him all week.
Do you not love that or what?
Wow.
I want to meet Anthony Davis. Baby girl, we're going to be with him all weekend. I love this. Welcome to the Red and Blue. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review, covering the game. We are going to relive one of the greatest moments, I think, in our state's history. Two teams in the national championship tournament in the Final Four. As they say, it don't get much better than that. Although it did for Darrell because his bunch eventually won the deal. But say hello to Darrell Bird of the Cats Paws.
With a take on Louisville, you have to feel good for Louisville. And even UK fans, as much as they love UK and they dislike U of L, they didn't give me any grief because after the game I wrote, the Commonwealth of Kentucky is the big winner tonight because both teams played extremely well. Both teams carried themselves extremely well. And with the national media just hoping, give me some ugliness out of this rivalry, never saw it.
Nope, classy both sides of it, including Howie Lindsay of CardinalSports.com with a take on the national champs.
I'm always classy. No, I'll take off on what that little girl said. I wish I'd never met Anthony. Had Anthony Davis not been there, no, he's tremendously talented, and the Cats, congratulations on a national championship, number 8.
Hey, join me now, if you will, as we do relive that incredible Final Four, the Cats and the Cards both doing business down in Nolans right now in our lightning round. The lightning round brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Hey, be very thoughtful about distracted driving. As they say, one text or one call could wreck it all. And who's hot for the University of Kentucky is John Calipari. He's had his detractors who said you can't win with freshmen, you can't do it the way Cal's doing it, but he has proven that the combination of just enough veterans plus a great recruiting class equaled Kentucky's championship, number 8.
I just do what I do. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, well, first of all, it starts with how you recruit them. I mean, you can't tell them you're going to shoot 30 times a game, the offense is going to run through you, and you're going to start. And none of these guys were promised they'd start how many minutes. And then you got to recruit them the right way so they know you're trustworthy. And then they got to trust that you're doing it for them. It's not about me. This is a player's first program. Is that about accurate? And then they'll do what you ask them to do because it's for them. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it, I said this a couple years ago, and everybody got crazy when we had 5 guys drafted in the first round. This is one of the biggest moments, if not the biggest, in Kentucky history. Reason was, I knew this would, now other kids would look and say, you got to go there. And that's what's happened. That first class that went in, and what I'm hoping is, there's 6 first-rounders on this team. We were the first program to have 5. Let's have 6. I'm fine with that. That's why I've got to go recruiting on Friday.
But I bet if they do have 6, Calipari doesn't publicly say it's the greatest moment ever in history because he took a lot of grief from Cat fans over that one. But he's absolutely right. And way back in October, we were doing some research. I wrote a story before Madness that said what starts tonight at Rupp Arena in Madness is going to end in April back in Rupp Arena for a championship celebration. And the reason I thought that, and it wasn't just blowing smoke, you have the great freshmen, you have 2 sophomores who came back, and you have a very solid senior leader. To me, you had the perfect formula, all the pieces in place, beyond just having 5 freshmen out there doing their thing. You need some steadiness, and you need some veterans to help nurture you along as the season goes along. And that's why I thought they would win, and it played out just like they said. And Calipari's correct. To me, recruiting, game over. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If I'm Nerlens Noel or any other outstanding player, why wouldn't you go to Kentucky? Maybe I'll get a ring and then I'll go to the NBA if you're that good.
Rick Pitino said that this surprise run for the Cardinals to the Big East Tournament Championship and on to the Final Four, he compared it to the Olympics. And if that's the case, the Cards came home with the bronze medal.
What I told them is, we're on the podium of the Olympics. They're not playing our national anthem, but we got a medal around our neck. So I'm really, really proud of them. Just like I said, the 87 team, it's the highest compliment I could ever give a team because it's people and effort. We had a lot of shortcomings this year because of the injuries and the way we shoot the ball, but our effort was off the charts. Real proud of the guys. They need some time off now to just enjoy it.
And continuing that Olympics analogy, I mean, if the final heat was 8 in the Olympics, Louisville was not in that final heat. They were maybe in the 3rd heat. They were in the also ran in the Olympics, and they just had a tremendous performance to, first of all, get in the championship heat, which was in that Elite 8,
right,
and then to beat Florida, go to the Final Four. I mean, just what a run. Amazing run. Capped seniors with Kyle Kuric and Chris Smith and some young guys as well. just a tremendous run to build on for Louisville.
What was not hot for Kentucky in that Final Four, at least in the championship game, was the offensive output of the National Player of the Year. Anthony Davis held to only 6 points, but he found other ways to help the Cats climb toward title number 8.
I love the fact Anthony Davis goes 1 for 10, and you all say he was the biggest factor in the game. He was 1 for 10. When I asked these guys a month ago, what do you do to help us win when you're not making baskets? You have an idea what he does.
It's not hard to take a back seat, especially when you're playing with a great group of guys. All these guys can play. So I knew I was struggling, so I told them, I'm just going to defend and rebound. Y'all make all the points. So that's what they did tonight.
You have to wonder how much of that goes back to the complete unusual circumstance of Davis being a nobody point guard who happened to grow 7 inches in high school, and he's used to being, just distributing the ball and being somebody that nobody pays attention to on the floor. And his high school team wasn't any good, for crying out loud. And that's probably the personality. And some of it's how, his upbringing with his parents, and he's just that type of kid. Never once hear him yell at a teammate. You never see him begging for the ball, demanding. Can you imagine Anthony Davis? Think of like a Carmelo Anthony or some of those guys in the NBA who, if they don't get my touches, then I'm done. He is not like that at all. He'll be an interesting. See how that personality plays out in the NBA.
Boy, Darryl, when you mentioned that, the thought that came to my mind is here's a kid that won, I think, 6 games his senior year in high school.
Yeah.
A year later, he is a national champion and the National Player of the Year. That is incredible.
And goes 1 for 10 in the final game, and everybody loves him because he's great.
One of the things that the Cards found was a little too not hot for them is their ability to match up with Kentucky's length and talent. In fact, Rick Pitino said after Kentucky dismissed them in the semifinals that it would take a heck of an effort to knock off the Cats in the title game.
Too much length, too many finishes with their elbows above the rim. And they give them credit. They're one of the better teams I've seen in the last 20 years. And some of their weaknesses don't come to fruition. Like they only have 6 players. You don't get them out of the game. They're smart defensive players. They're beatable, but you're going to have to give a hell of an effort to beat them.
I fell into the trap, I'll admit it. Before the game, one of the talking points was, well, Louisville's got more depth. Well, it didn't matter. Yeah. And I'm sure I was one of 50 pundits this year who said, oh, well, this team's got more depth than Kentucky. Doesn't matter. It didn't get to the depth. It never gets to that 7th or 8th or 9th guy because they just don't let it. They don't let foul trouble affect them, and they're athletic enough to not body on somebody and still block the shot. It was very, very impressive. I mean, just the collection of athletic talent on this team was pretty impressive.
Had a chance to spend some time with Denny Crum at the National Championship, to drop a name here. But Denny always has this saying, you get what you deserve, and it's pretty clear this Kentucky team got what it deserved, a national title.
This team deserves all the accolades that they've been getting. And what I wanted them to show today is that we were not just a talented team, we were a defensive team, and we were a team that shared the ball. I wanted everybody to see it because, it became, well, they're just more talented than everybody. Well, we were the best team. This season, we were the best team, most efficient team. We shared the ball. It's just, I wanted that. I told them that, I wanted this to be one for the ages. Go out there and show everyone what kind of team you were. Even though we were young, it doesn't matter how young you are. It's how you play together.
It's also amazing. I'm sure Calipari has people in the coaching profession who like him. There's probably some that don't. I think it's that way in any business that you're in. But I guarantee everybody, the lovers and the haters are paying attention now. How in the world did he get so many McDonald's All-Americans to play as one team and not to care how many shots? How in the world do you pull that off? If he could bottle that, he'll be sitting back at the Final Four year after year after year, because that was just a remarkable coaching ability to convince kids to break the stallion and get them back to playing as a team. Did it really early, and then they just perfected it from that point on.
One of the buzzes coming out of this ball game and this series of games for Louisville and their postseason run is think about where Louisville was at the end of February and how different it was at the end of March. The fact that these guys will hoist a Final Four banner in that brand new arena is remarkable.
And these 2 guys leave us with a Final Four. Another banner goes up in the Louisville gym, and they're always going to be remembered for that.
And I absolutely agree with Rick Pitino here. Celebrate that. I mean, don't hang your head over the thought that you lost to Kentucky in the Final Four or whatever. Celebrate that you've got a banner. You've got a Final Four banner. Another banner in the Yum Center, another banner in the Yum Center on campus where they've got the practice practice facility, and Big East championship rings.
Yep.
I mean, you won one of the toughest conferences in America. You've got trophies to prove it, and it's just a remarkable season. These guys have got a lot to be proud of, and Rick Pitino's got a lot to be proud of. To get this team to win a Big East championship and go to the Final Four, he absolutely coached his rear end off.
He did. This portion of the Final Four coverage of the national championship run of the Cats and the Cards is brought to you by Crystal Link. You are an expert in your business, and a computer is no doubt a big part of what you do, but you're probably not an IT pro. These guys are. Crystal Link. Go to these guys, and you don't need in-house IT help. You've got it with Crystal Link. Call them at 502-583-9907. When we come back on the Red and Blue Review, we'll tell you how tears from last year watered the championship of this year. As we head to the break, Daryl's going to tell us how Cat fans can celebrate number 8.
Celebrate number 8 indeed. Appreciate it, Gary. Talk about a labor of love. Putting together, finishing up a 132-page, roughly, book on celebrating the national championship, 14 years in the making. Celebrate with the Big Giant 8, the 8th national championship. To order, simple website there at the bottom of the page, magazine.catspaws.com. Just pick any number you want to order. We'll take however many you want.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Bachman makes a difference.
Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
You know, he's a heck of a basketball coach, and what he did with this team and the way he molded them together and the things that he did, his passion for Kentucky is immense, and this is why he came.
I tell you, I think we can actually throw hosannas to both coaches. Cal and Rick both getting those teams to the national championship tournament. The final 2 games is really impressive. Welcome back to the Red and Blue Review. We're going to talk about championship tears and playing tight in our Game Time storylines. Terrence Jones is one of those guys who surprised us last year when he decided to come back and play at Kentucky one more season. He told me after the national championship game that the celebratory locker room that the Cats enjoyed in New Orleans would not have happened without a tear-filled locker room in Houston.
How much were you thinking about this last season after UConn, this moment right here?
Ever since I was crying in the locker room,
That's right. At one point during the week when I asked Terrence, I said, so why did you come back? He said, because I did not want that feeling from last year to stay with me, that I wanted to erase that feeling completely, and that's why he came back, and he just enjoys college a lot. And I guess he'll go to the NBA, but it wouldn't shock me if he stuck around. He just loves college, loves the game, and he hated that feeling. He did not want to have to put up with having to live with that, so he came back, and huge cog in the fact they were able to win the championship this year.
The pressure on the Kentucky Wildcats was supposed to be clearly a burden that they would have to carry through the national championship tournament. They arrived as the #1 overall seed. But in the matchup with Louisville in the semifinal, it was the Cardinals who seemed to lack composure.
You know, we just played tight, and Coach Pete told us at halftime, just play loose. It's a game out there, and I think we did a much better job in the second half of just, relaxing and going out there and just having fun and playing.
You said you played tight. Why do you think you did with so much experience? What was it about tonight that made you play tight?
I don't know. Just too serious about the game, and Coach just told me, relax and go out there and play, and that's what I tried to do in the second half. Just try to have fun. Just try to go out there and compete and not let my team.
Sometimes you can be too wound, too wound up for the game, and I think that may be what we saw with Louisville. I think, even in the first game, the first matchup, they were also a little too wound up, especially Shane Bohannon. I think, they place such importance on it, and these guys know that they're going up on a big stage and that kind of thing, and it can cause people to be tight. And I tell you what else causes people to be tight. Kentucky's defense. They are extremely good. So even if you've got a game plan coming in, what's that old phrase? Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth the first time. Yeah. Then they're like, holy cow. I think part of it was that Louisville played tight. I think the other part of it was Kentucky's defense is really, really good.
Yeah. Why would you be tight? It's only 73,000 people in a worldwide audience.
Yeah, come on now.
Just go play.
And Howie, one of the other pieces of that, if Louisville follows Kentucky's lead, you may be back again because you've got a very good team. You've got a team that has now Final Four experience. It could be another exciting run for Louisville next year.
That would be awesome. Start in Lexington, go to Indy, go to Atlanta. That'd be a great run. And I tell you, it's back to being the capital of basketball here in the city of Louisville because Kentucky's great, Louisville's great, Indiana's great, Cincinnati's good. I mean, this is the epicenter of all of college basketball.
This national championship run for Kentucky really had a very familiar feel to it. Kentucky played Western Kentucky, Louisville, Indiana, and finished off with Kansas. One of the Cat fans told me he didn't care who they beat on the way to the national title.
Is it any sweeter having beaten Western and Indiana and Louisville and Kansas?
It really doesn't matter. We care about winning. It's not about other programs, it's about what they do, it's about what we do. We can take on all the haters, they say all the stuff to us, and we come back for more. We want number 9.
You absolutely have to love the fans. I was in New Orleans at one point I think it was before the Louisville game, and talking about that game, and the fan wanted to know about Nerlens Noel, a recruit for next year. I'm like, dude, enjoy the ride.
The confetti's still falling, and they're talking about Title IX.
Don't worry about next year. That's just part of the program. You got to love them, though. They are passionate. They will follow this team anywhere they go. But I will disagree a little bit. I thought it was going to be how more perfect could it be than to start your NCAA championship run at the Yum Center on Louisville's turf. Well, how about knocking out your rival Louisville on the way to winning it? That may have added just a little bit more to it.
It was an historic run, and when the run was over for Louisville, Rick Pitino left New Orleans and went on to Miami and told the players as they headed back to the Commonwealth, go there proudly, celebrate, but have some good, clean fun.
I told the guys, I said, look, I'm going to Miami tomorrow, and I'm celebrating a season where we worked around the clock, around injuries and everything else. If you guys don't celebrate and have good, clean fun, you fools. Because I think there's only been 8 teams that got to a Final Four in the history of one of the greatest traditions, and they did it. So they're going to celebrate. Kyle will celebrate a little more low-key than Chris will, but they're going to celebrate.
He's exactly right there. Chris Smith knows how to party, and I think Kyle Kirk will celebrate as well. These guys have a lot to celebrate, and I just think back to Russ Smith after that Big East tournament, and he's just bawling. I mean, he's holding this trophy, and he's bawling, and you see him there with the number 2, and he's saying, I've never won anything. I've never won anything, nothing. Wow. And a lot, several of these guys had not had a whole lot that they'd ever won. So celebrate these moments. And these guys, I don't necessarily know if they understand just how important that little piece of net will be to them for the rest of their lives. They got fitted for rings the first day that they were there. Those are special moments that I don't think they'll really realize until 10 years from now.
Yeah, and I think we realize probably better than the players do that these groups that make it to a championship and to a Final Four, they have now cemented their legacy for all time. When they come back into the Yum Center or back into Rupp, these guys will be regaled.
Oh, absolutely. When they introduce old players, the guys who made the Final Four get a triple the amount of applause as the guys who maybe didn't.
When we come back on the Red and Blue Review, we'll tell you how guys who really didn't get on the court in the Final Four tried to be a difference maker in the success of their team chasing a championship. As we go to the break, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. All the coverage of the Final Four run. We've got photo galleries, we've got videos, all the archival stuff. Check it out at CardinalSports.com. And we covered it every step of the way, from Portland down to Phoenix and down to New Orleans, back to Louisville.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Dedicated to excellence. Bachman makes a difference.
At lunch today? I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
We tend to celebrate the guys who get on the court, who help their teams get to the Final Four. But the guys who do what we do, sit and watch, the bench warmers, they play a vital role. They are difference makers as well. In fact, Eloy Vargas says one of his biggest jobs, in addition to going on the court and giving the Cats a couple of minutes, literally just a couple of minutes, his job is to help relay the messages that Cal is giving to the bench warmers to the other guys sitting beside him.
Does it help you guys, you think?
Yeah, it helps. Sometimes, like, when I'm in the bench, I just, whatever he tells the other guy, I just be telling him to do the right thing, too.
I just think it's hilarious that the guy who has broken English is the one relaying the messages. I think it's his English has gotten much, much better in the 2 years that he's been there. Eloy did exactly what he needed to do, go in and give Anthony Davis a breather every now and then. Outside of Terrence Jones, that's the biggest body you've got on the court. And Cal thinks if he wants to go play overseas or he wants to go back to the Dominican, that he can play basketball for a while if he wants to. It'd be interesting to see what he wants to do. He wants to run youth basketball clinic type things in his native country after basketball's over, so that's cool.
Louisville had a bunch of players banged up this season. Imagine how good they could have been if all those players were ready to go. Well, once they get healed up next year, including Wayne Blackshear, who got a little bit of time toward the end of the season, Shane Bohannon says the Cards will be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a real good group. Once he get into the summer workout, I mean, get his body right and the shape he want to be in, I think we're going to make another run for him.
We saw just glimpses of what Wayne Blackshear could be. He had the foul dunk, he had the three, he made some athletic plays, and he's just one of those guys who is very, very good. McDonald's All-American, he just never got healthy. I mean, he even after the game, we talked to Wayne Blackshear, and he said, you know, I got back to high school shape, but I never got in college shape. And there's a big difference between those two. I can't wait to see the player that Wayne Blackshear is going to become.
All right, guys, you spent about a month on the road with these two teams getting to the Final Four. Derek, let me ask you in about 20 seconds, what is your best memory as you look back on this run to the Final Four and the National Championship? Is there one moment that really sticks out in your mind?
There's not one moment that sticks out, but it's the personality of the team. Cal kept saying, go have fun. And this team had fun every single game they were in. They were laughing and joking and having a good time. And Anthony Davis to be that good and that unselfish is remarkable. You better have enjoyed it because you may not see it again.
Darryl expected to make it New Orleans. Howie didn't. So as you look back, Howie, is there one moment that really sticks out for you?
Oh, beating Michigan State was the big thing. I mean, to see the celebration in Louisville's crowd, to see it's just unexpected success, knocking off a #1 seed and knocking out Michigan State, too.
Well, thanks for joining us. We were on the road with the team and glad you went along with us here on the Red and Blue Review.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.